Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are. But here, it's good morning. And I'm welcoming you to the EAS Aqua 2024 here in Copenhagen. It's the last day of the show, and we've had a fabulous time. And I'm on the stand here with Alistair Lane, who's the Executive Director of the EAS, European Aquaculture Society. And I want to ask him what he thinks of the event and how it's gone this week. Alistair, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, and it's nice to speak to you again. And in 2 words, we're happy.
Happy. Well, I mean, that's very short and to the point. What makes you so happy?
Several things. First of all, the fact that the conference center we have here in the Bella Center is really fit for purpose for us. As you can see around you, the exhibition hall is big. We've filled it up, and it's busy. And the feedback we've had so far from the first 2 days of the exhibition has been very positive. A lot of good contacts, a lot of contacts that can lead to business and cooperation, which is what we're looking for, of course. And then surrounding that in the conference program, there's a lot of sessions which are bridging this gap between science and industry. And there's a lot of forums, our classic industry and innovation forum, but many other events that are looking at that crossover point, and that's where EAS and our Aquaculture Europe events focus. But remember, this is the one every 6 years.
Every 6 years, yes.
So this is EAS, but also with the World Aquaculture Society.
WAS. And has that been a successful, fruitful engagement this time around?
We've been working with the World Aquaculture Society since the event that we had in Nice, which was back in the year 2000. So our last benchmark, if you like, was the 18 meeting, which was in Montpellier, in France. We had 3,003 total participants for that event. I was thinking, can we get there? Can we get over that? We got over it to the level of 3,424. Wow,
amazing. And most of them have been in the exhibition area. I know there's a huge conference program, and it's the variety is there. But also here in the exhibition, I've noticed that it's just crowded. But can you give us an idea of what countries are being represented? I know you've got a sheet of paper there with some numbers on it.
I've got a cheat sheet. So in general, our normal figure is around 70 countries. We've gone a little bit over that, maybe 90, 91, 92. What I'm pleased to see is a broader representation of non-European participation. So we've got quite a lot of people from Asia, we've got quite a lot of people from Africa, and also from South America. And one thing that's been slightly lacking in the past, I think, is representation from North America, so the States and Canada, where if I look just quickly at my cheat sheet we've got about more than 150 or 160 combined from US and Canada.
Right.
And that's been something that has been rather lower in our Aquaculture Europe events, but higher this time around. So that's positive.
And you mentioned Canada, and I've got in front of me the magazine, our latest issue here, and we report right up the front the passing of Dr. Terry Chopin. And it's a very sad situation. You knew him very well, and I know he participated in our magazine frequently. What's happening here with regard to any recognition for Dr. Chopin?
I think my first words about Terry was we did an event back in the year 2000s which was called Beyond Monoculture. And this was taking the whole ideas that Terry communicated and taught and educated us about this idea of integrated multi-trophic aquaculture. So Terry's passing was a shock, and it was a very, very sad thing. Basically, Terry had this gift of complicated science, putting it into simple language, developing dances, slogans, talking to policymakers, making things happen, because one of the problems with integrated multi-trophic aquaculture is that we don't see it in practice so much, and there are hurdles to this. And the hurdles are not scientific. They're more regulatory. In short, we have an IMTA session in the conference program, as we have since that meeting in 2000. And this time we've dedicated that meeting to Terry's memory.
Oh, that's very nice to hear. And I'm sure his family and friends will be very heartened by that.
I hope so.
But yes, okay. And but getting back to the actual event here itself, this one's been successful. What do we have planned, or what do you have planned for the future?
Well, you know very well that we work on our future events like 3 years in advance. So our next event is going to be a normal Aquaculture Europe event. That will be held in Valencia, in Spain, September 22 to 25. So we're back to our normal time slot. And we've already had a lot of planning on that. It's shaping up very well. Mario is getting a lot of people who are fired up by this expo, wanting already to book their stands for next year. So if you're a company and you want to take part in Valencia, don't wait to book your stand, because there is a capacity limitation that we have. And the scientific conference will be the normal model of Aquaculture Europe. And we'll open up the website and we'll open up for abstract submission after this event, so next month or the month after.
Right.
That's 25. For 26, for the first time ever, we're going to be in Slovenia. We're going to be in Ljubljana.
Okay.
And remember the meeting we did last year in Austria, in Vienna?
Vienna, yeah.
People were saying, well, Austria, that's a small country with little aquaculture, but around that there were the other countries in that region. So what we've done with Slovenia is focused on the Southeast European region. So with Italy being closed, Croatia being closed, the Ljubljana Convention Center is very good for us. It's a wonderful city. And we'll be looking to welcome people there in 2026 of September and the first day of October 26.
Yeah. And one final thing, and we shouldn't forget it, is student activity. I mean, how important is students to EAS and these events?
They're our future, simple as that. And our student group has been reinvigorated over the last few years, and over the last 2 years especially, it's got, I think in one word, professional. Student activities used to be 1 or 2 events during the event. Every single day now there are student activities. For example, at lunchtime today there's a thing called Meet and Eat, and it's a kind of brokerage lunch event. Plenty of new ideas. Students are not short on ideas, and we're putting those into practice. We've had Mariana Ferreira from Portugal, who's been leading the students for the last 2 years. She's done an absolutely wonderful job, but she's backed up as well by a whole group of coordinators in all of the countries. And so the student activities now, the student participation is about 350. We have about 400 or more student members of EAS, and their activities are growing and growing and growing, and integrating students into the event as a pillar of the event. Because
as we pass through the industry, so to speak, we need to be pulling students into the industry behind us. And I think we're doing our little bit in the magazine. Dr. Daniel Marrowfield from Plymouth University, who's our chair of the editorial committee, has taken over writing a column each month.
Great.
And he is introducing a student profile. And we would welcome, obviously, other students to have their profile in the magazine, just to keep encouraging students that we are a vibrant industry, there's a great future with us, and that this is one way to engage with the companies that might offer you a job in the future.
Exactly, and over the last few months, we've put into place a kind of monthly newsletter that we call Monthly Catch. And it's a harvest of all of the PhD positions and job opportunities available for students as they come through their education and go into the sector. So that's a service we're providing to our student members. And our student network goes wider than the membership. We built up now a total social media following of more than 25,000. That's our community now. And so
fantastic.
we're using that in a much better way compared to previously.
Well, catch the newsletter. We'll have a link in our magazine for that.
Okay.
So if anybody's looking for what students are up to, or who's available, what qualifications they have, or where they're located, you'll be able to find it through a link in our magazine.
Perfect.
But Alistair, thank you very much for joining us. It's the last day. There's plenty of activity out there. You've got a lot to do. But thank you for stopping by.
It's a pleasure, as always. Thank you.
See you at the next one.
With pleasure.
Thank you.